Good evening, and we are back again on Tuesday nights with the UkSimracers Round 2 live from the New Hampshire Motor Speedway. Broadcast brought to you tonight by JPB Broadcasting with myself and Daan on comms tonight. So myself, James Parfitt, and Daan Pepels bringing you all the action. So we are here at the New Hampshire Motor Speedway, 2.45 kilometers in length in Loudon in the USA. Brand new course for me this season. Dan's never been here before either, so we're both literally learning this 13-corner anti-clockwise circuit here tonight, and it's going to be absolutely amazing, as it always is. Don't forget, guys, we are live on the JPB YouTube channel using iRacing, the world's premier simulator. Please hit that subscribe, hit the thumbs up, and don't forget to turn on the bells for notification. After last week's opening round battles, we had 4 races of unbelievable action, with Daniel Hunt, Pete Newman, and Ralph Cullinan taking race 1. Van Gool, Morton, and Jones in race 2. Hunt, Ayres, and Main in race 3. And then we had Cullinan, Ayres, and Kellerman taking the last race of the evening. And I must say, it was absolutely unbelievable. And as always, time to bring in Daan Pepels into the booth. Daan, how are you, buddy?
Good evening, everyone. Good evening, James. Once again, another evening of some UkSimracers MX5. And like last evening, I'm doing very, very well. But I have to correct you, James. And it's something that I have seen myself doing as well. It is 12 corners, not 13. Here in America, they do it differently. They do it by marshal posts, which means that they have turn 11 and turn 11A and turn 1 and turn 1A. So it's easy to do, but we have only 12 turns.
That's not according to the iRacing map. We've got turn 1, turn 2, turn 3, turn 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, and 13. So there you go. So there we go, guys. We've got 4.5 minutes left of practice. We've got 4 15-minute heats this evening as well. So stay tuned for that one. We're going to do heat 1 and 2 in this session with a full 25 reverse at the end of this round 1. Okay, so at the end of race 1, we'll go into race 2 with a full 25 reverse. So the first place will go right to the back. And that itself, Dan, is going to bring something completely different to the racing this evening, because, you know, I don't think, by what I can remember, we've had a full reverse grid ever in this series, but we're going for a full 25 reverse tonight.
Yeah, well, in a grid that would have been bigger than 25, I would have really liked that. The only thing that could now be the case is you could retire from the race as the first man to retire, and you could take pole position in the next one, which is the only thing I do not really like about the system, but those are small things, you know. It's, well, if you retire, of course, doesn't matter why, you will have pole position if you are the first one to retire, of course.
Yes, absolutely right. So here are the current updated still scores in the pros. Jamie Ayres is leading us off on 365 points, with Elise Main in second on 345. Pete Van Gool in third on 3-34. Charles Kellerman in fourth on 329, closely followed by Carl Jacklett on 328. Daniel Hunt on 303. Ralph Cullinan on 286. Pete Newman on 193, and then we got Steve Hefford on 166. Martin Sampson rounds out your top 10 on 79. We've got Andy Maxwell, Will Currington, Roy Vivek, Darren McLean, Cesar Rizzo, and Carl Hardy on 0 points. Now in the AMS, Craig Jones is leading the way on 337 points. Darrell Wright in second on 317. Mick Barry in third on 315. Dale Benison in fourth on 309. Craig Crawford in fifth on 306. Roger Morton in sixth place on 255. Steve Hansford on 234. Alan Toon on 224. Now we will look at bringing you up the overalls. Don't forget, guys, we are doing a combined scores of all 3 seasons So we will bring you the up-to-date scores next week of all 3 seasons in the overall, so you can see where everybody is situated with where their current position is in the overalls. As we see Jamie Ayres there taking a nice big slide round the corner like he normally does. But I think that's going to be the interesting thing, Dan. You know, we've got 3 seasons. This is the final season of their 3rd season. Oh, contact, Steve Efford. You know, I think it's all kind of still to play for. Craig Jones has taken 2 of the AM seasons so far, and he's on for a 3rd one. He will then, if he wins this one, move instantly up to the pros. But I think at the end of the day, it's all about trying to get as many points as possible in this one, isn't it?
Yeah, of course, every season counts for its own as well. We have a champion from every season. But of course, the main focus for all these drivers, as the mobile guys are going at it in practice, the main aim for all these guys is really to take that overall championship.
Yeah, exactly, and that's what they want to do. As we can see there, the weather on the right-hand side of your screen. So we've gone back in time to May 15th, 2022, 5:23. And currently with a temperature of 18 degrees and a track temperature of 18 degrees Celsius as well, and partly cloudy. Now, partly cloudy, I would get excited and think, oh, there might be rain. But we still haven't got rain in iRacing, which is a bit of a shame. I did do a broadcast the other day on ACC where it rained in qualifying. Then it didn't rain in the race until about 20 minutes till about, well, we was on an endurance. It was about 4 hours in. And then it rained, no, it was right near the end actually, 5 hours in. Then it rained for half an hour and then it stopped again. It caused absolute bedlam, and it was an absolute incredible race. I just wish we would get rain in iRacing. Sort it out.
I think they've been teasing us now for a year or a year and a half, and we still haven't got anything.
No,
really.
No, and that's the frustrating thing is, you know, we all want rain. Do you know what I mean? Other simulators have got rain. You know, ACC have got rain. F122 have got rain. You know, it's time, iRacing. Sort it out. We all want rain and variable rain conditions. And we had that over the weekend. I was on, it was at Spa, which we all know, rains wherever and can wherever rain. And it rained in quali and then stopped. And then 5 hours into the endurance, it rained for about half an hour. And then it stopped again. Right, it was just incredible racing. And then the drivers actually managed to finish the race on wet tyres because they were puddle hunting across the track. It was absolutely incredible. And I think it's time that we actually did get it now. I think, you know, the frustrating, the teasing, the it's coming, it's not coming. It's almost like you're just being fed a carrot and you know you're never going to feed the donkey almost because you're never going to get it. And that's the annoying thing.
Yeah. Well, I always think of that meme, like a cat running on the treadmill with like the toy in front of it, and it just never gets to it.
Yep.
That's what iRacing at the moment is doing with all the drivers when they say we are going to implement rain, and then it takes them 3 years to figure it out.
Yeah, I think that's the annoying thing. I understand they're testing, and I understand, you know, they haven't got the raindrop pattern right, and they haven't got this right, and they haven't got that right. It's kind of annoying in a way because, you know, other sims have got it already, and they've implemented it, and it's there, and it's variable conditions, and we're just not getting it. And I think it's time that, you know, we kind of all deserve to have it by now, and I think that's. It's kind of at that point where they've got to implement it, get it sorted out. It's not like they haven't got enough time.
James, the fire alarm is going off in my house, so I need to go down, okay?
Carry on. So there you go, guys. Daan's disappeared because he's got a fire. So, you know, it could be over and done with before then. You could end up with just me. But let me know in chat, what do you think? You know, is it time to get rain? Let us know in the comment section below as well, if you are watching it back on the replay. Is it time for rain in iRacing? Is it on the cards that we should definitely get it by now, because it's been ample amount of time for us to be able to get rain? You know, everybody pays a subscription, everybody pays for tracks, everybody pays for new cars, new content. Great. It's amazing that you're bringing that all out, but we still haven't got the rain that we're all craving. So give us rain and wet tyres and let us go at it. It's time, iRacing. I feel it's time. That's my philosophy. I don't know if you're back, Dan. Are you back? So Dan is still off dealing with a current emergency situation in his house, which involves a fire alarm. So hopefully, you know, Dan will be okay and there's no mass fire going on. As we see Jamie Ayres go onto pole on a 1:15.04, fastest man in sector 5. Then we've got Pete Van Gaal got it in sector 4. Steve Hefford's got 2 in sector 1 and sector 3. And then Daniel Hunt breaking up the Momo boys with taking the purple sector in sector 2. So there is some half decent sector times going on tonight, and it's just going to be one after the other. So stay tuned because you're not going to want to miss it, as we've got literally 11 minutes left of quali before these guys can go into the race to see who gets that famous pole position and who then will go away and lead the race, hopefully till the end of race 1, but then unfortunately for them they go to the back of race 2. But you know, hey, look, they can't have it always, right? They took a victory. So there you go. Let's do one more check with Dan. Dan, are you back?
Yes, I am. It turns out my dad was changing one of the fire alarms, and if one goes off, they all go. So I didn't know that, so I shat my pants.
Oh, well, there you go. Hello, Carby son. Welcome in. Much appreciated for you joining us this evening here with myself, James Parfitt, and Dan Pepels, bringing you the UK SimRacers Round 2 live from New Hampshire Motor Speedway. Now, Dan, this is a new track to me and you. I've never been here before. Actually, I think this is my first ever broadcast at this track itself. You know, bit of a variant, anti-clockwise as well. That's something new for the drivers to actually try and comprehend with, because we do go anti-clockwise around the circuit. There are a few right turns, but nothing really major that I feel is going to upset these guys, apart from the fact that they've got 15 minutes to get as far up the grid as possible.
No, not really. And what I like about this track is the fact that we use some parts of the oval as well. Don't forget, there is an oval at New Hampshire, so that's why it's called the Speedway as well. So yeah, there you go. But it looks like the drivers, the most difficulties the drivers having is the part where they come onto the oval. It looks like the backhand just wants to step out everywhere.
Yeah, that's about now. It's about now. Now, I was talking to Steve Hefford about this last week, and he turned around and said that basically you come in from the oval, then you drop into an infield section, and then he turned around and said to me, he goes, you almost, James, go into a car park within the infield. Now, obviously, we're catching on banks of the oval. There's another part of the oval there. Newman's just gone onto pole on a 1:12.79, the first man to break the 1:12.8s currently at the moment. So he did say it was a tricky track as well, and it's not one that you can almost sort of turn up and do. You've got to give it some practice. But I think there's going to be some drivers that might struggle with this circuit overall, because it is completely different to what we would expect normally from a circuit.
Yeah, it definitely is, and I've spoken to some of the Momo guys as well, and they said that, like you said just a moment ago, it's a really tricky track, but the way these cars have changed, as we see a beautiful illustration once again by Roger Morton, spinning on the part, coming on to the oval. Like I said, really tricky and really easy to do that. But yeah, especially with the changes the cars have had, it's now much more easy to make that backhand step out when they come onto the oval. So
yeah, they're going to have to be careful.
Yeah.
Pete Newman just improving his time on a 1:12.587. So there we go. Pete Newman going even quicker than he did last time out, and is now done a 1:12.587 as we see Craig Crawford there take a little bit of a diver over the grass, and that's not going to do anyone any favors. Now, what we haven't looked at is the overall team championship current standings, and I'm just going to get them up for you now. And basically, obviously we're in early days, we know that already, and you know, there are some how can I put it, there are, you know, they're not going to be able to be massive at this point. Let me just make sure I've got the right ones, because otherwise that's not going to go right with them scores currently. So let me just do some, you know, little technical difficulties in the background. No.
Oh, there goes Martin Sampson.
Yeah.
Off the grass as well.
is
Got a
on.
little bit of the track. Decided he loved the oval more than the infield, but yeah, he has to stick to the line. Of course, that's an off track for him. That's his qualifying lap done. Has to start a new one in order to improve his lap time. Currently in 7th, and looking to improve that. He was quite far through his lap as well, so he won't be happy with that. Going on to a new lap now. I think Steve Hefford in 17th we have behind this, improving a lot. He jumps up to P15 with
Right.
1:14.729.
Right, let's have a look at these these current team standings. Optical Red are leading the way on 979. Results Clothing iRacing Team on 938. Momo on 865. Safeguard by result on 572. Optical Green on 564. Workguard by result on 533. Pure Simmons Esports on 193. Optical Blue on 79. And DOF Reality SimRacers Studios on 0 points currently here tonight. So we'll have to see what Daniel Hunt can do, being the lone representative of tonight's racing. So MX5 action brought to you live by JBB Broadcasting at the New Hampshire Motor Speedway with myself, James Parfitt, and Daan Pepels on comms. All you got to do is hit the subscribe, like, and turn on the bells for notifications as we see Martin Sampson taking a bit of a divert into the wall. That's not going to do him any favours, Dan, this early on.
No, not really. He had an off as well halfway through his lap, and yeah, really find this track difficult. But the more guys, once again, as we see them do their usual ritual, helping each other in qualifying and towing each other along. Not the first time we see them do this.
No, it's not. It seems to be a regular thing with these guys where they do work together and try and get each other up the grid as much as possible. And currently we've got Van Gaal in 2nd, Ayres 4th, Hefford in 5th, which are the 3 members of Team Momo. Craig Jones in 1st in the AMS, closely followed by Mick Barry. Mick Barry's just gone in on a 113.59. Craig Jones on a 113.58. So he is absolutely flying currently, is Mick Barry. And as you can see, the times, their best lap times on the left-hand side of your screen. On your scores of your screen, Jones on a 113.582, Barry on a 113.586. Puck, good, go Pete, evening all. Good evening, gentlemen, says Swift. Welcome in, Swift, hope you're well. Good evening, Puck, hope you're well. Cheering on your brother, who is currently sat in 2nd place. So he's doing a stellar job here tonight at this very tricky, what would you call it, Dan? Would you call it a roval?
Yeah, I think in America they do call it a roval, but I think I've searched this track, and when you put in roval, you get the Texas roval. So yep. I don't think they officially call it a roval, but you could call it so.
Well, it's a mixture of a road circuit and an oval, so technically it's a roval. You know, and I think that's one of the things that we can look at and call it, because it is practically a roval. We're just going to be entering on to the front part of the oval circuit. There it is on the right hand side, as you can see here with Jamie Ayres. We're just going to join into it about now. There you go. We've had an off track with Dale Benison. He's been taking a little bit of a divert. He's jumped back into the pits, so keep an eye on how Dale Benison gets on. But I think it's one of these tracks that I think it looks fun from what I've seen. Obviously, as we specified before, this is my first time here broadcasting ever at a roval circuit, or this specific roval one. It looks quite technical. There looks like there's a lot of open opportunity for overtakes, Dan, and I think that's one of the things that these guys are going to have to look for at certain parts of the track. You know, the entrance from 13 along the straight, which is the oval part, and then the run from 3 to 4 where they join the oval part as well. You know, there's opportunities there for them to overtake.
Yeah, of course, and like you said, the very technical circuit, not a lot of places really, especially in the middle section, the last sector, to really rest their arms. It's corner after corner after corner, and it's really only the first sector with the main straight and the back straight where they can really settle down for a second. Yeah,
exactly, and I think we've seen, the thing is that, right, and anybody that hasn't watched this series before, it took me 2 weeks to find out the stream switch channels. Puck go over and follow me on Twitter, right? And then I will tell you where we're at, okay? Because it's vitally important, Puck, that if you haven't got Twitter, you should go over and follow the JPB Twitter page, okay? Because how else are you going to know when we go live, Puck? Do you know what I mean? You're not going to know, are you, buddy? You know, we switched channels now since the beginning of the season, buddy. You know? Right. There we go, Puck. There is the JPB Twitter. Follow us here, subscribe here, hit the thumbs up, turn on the bells, Puck, and you won't miss a thing, buddy. Why did you guys switch channels anyway? Brake pedal malfunction, can't drive. Alan Toon again! No way! Absolutely incredible. Swift, why did you guys switch channels anyway? Because there's a long old story, Swift, but let me give you the rundown. We're going to put all of it into one. There you go. That's basically it, Swift. I can't tell you anything else. That's basically it. We're going to put it all into one. All the leagues that JPB cover will be on the JPB YouTube channel, so people know where to go and find the best racing, action, commentary, broadcasting that they've ever seen in their life, Swift. There you go, Dan. What do you reckon? Did I sell it well enough?
Could have been a bit better, though, you know?
Thanks, mate. You know what I mean? How rude. Right, we come into the last minute of qualifying. We've got Pete Newman on pole on a 112.587. Van Gool on a 112.822. 3/10 back. That could be massive. Daniel Hunt on a 112.915. Jamie Ayres on a 112.944. Steve Everett on a 112.965. They are your current top 5. They are the only 5 in the 112s. So there you go. Tricky track and a lot of fun to drive side by side through the hairpin for sure. Well, Mr. Toon, you can sit back now and enjoy all the action, buddy. You can see it live rather than watching it back. How much fun will that be for you? Martin Sampson, good evening to you. Currently in qualifying, but Martin Sampson there sitting in 10th place overall. 2 AM drivers and 1 pro in result. The 2 AM drivers beat the pro. Please highlight that a lot. Okay, so we've got Craig Jones, Mick Barry, taking positions away from Ralph Cullinan, who is their pro driver. There you go, Craig. I pointed it out for you. Okay. Mick Barry in 7th, and Craig Jones in 6th, and their pro driver, Ralph Cullinan, in 8th place. So
that's amazing.
There we go. Yeah, incredible for them. You know, so it's a big old, like, you know, well, then the thing is, we know that Craig isn't slow anyway, right? I love Mick Barry. Everybody knows I love Mick Barry anyway. So, you know, look, at the end of the day, it's a fair play to them. Maybe Craig, you can get on the mic and tell Ralph, give him some tips. they had a toe, says Martin Sampson. Well, maybe, Martin, but you should be on track by now. Come on, sir. Right. So we're going to be away very shortly here in race 1 tonight from the New Hampshire Motor Speedway Roval, Dan.
Yeah.
So let's
really exciting track.
Yep. Right. Are we gonna be able to do this quick enough? Pete Newman in first. Pete Van Gool second. Daniel Hunt third. Jamie Ayres fourth. Steve Everett fifth. Craig Jones sixth. Mick Barry seventh. Ralph Cullinan eighth. Carl Jacklin ninth. Martin Sampson 10th. Darryl Wright 11th. Roger Morton 12th. Andy Maxwell 13th. Charles Kellerman 14th. Steve Hansford 15th. Craig Crawford 16th. Andy Littler in 18th. Dale Bennison 17th. To Alan Toon, obviously not on track, in 19th place. There we go. Boom.
I've been beaten.
Well, there you go. I can't help that. But the only good thing is now Alan 2's not there, so they've got to wait for the whole 2 minutes. Right, here we go, guys. Race 1. 3 lights, 4 lights, 5 lights. And we are away for race 1 of the New Hampshire Motor Speedway. And it's Pete Newman out in front, currently being chased down by Pete Van Gool, with Daniel Hunt slipping up into 3rd place currently. There's a lot of changes there. Ralph Cullinan has got past Mick Barry. He's dispatched one of the Results Clothing iRacing team already, and he's got Craig Jones in front of him, which was big representatives from them in here tonight. Craig coming in saying, ha, we've managed to beat our pro driver. And so far, Dan, touch wood, so far so good.
So far so good, but really, really close in the midfield. And as we're coming now to that middle sector, it looks like it's going to be side by side for Sampson and Mick Barry behind us, I think. Here we go, side by side, all pushing him wide, and that is Really, really close on exit there, James.
Yeah, Mick Barry there as well, coming in 8th place. He's chasing down Ralph Cullinan, but behind him is Martin Sampson. As we jump on board with the JPB jobber flying around America, relaying all the pictures back to us here in the UK and over to Daan in the Netherlands. We're currently with Pete Newman out in front. Pete Van Gaal in second. Jamie Ayres third. Jamie Ayres fourth. Daniel Hunt third. And Steve Hefford in 5th place. Charles Kellerman is a lot chasing down Andy Maxwell, his optical green teammate there as well. Dan, it's going to be interesting to see how people are going to work together here, because you know there's a lot. We know there's a lot of teams. Ralph Cullinan. Oh! Ralph
That's
Cullinan.
not working together, is it?
No, that is on the infield entrance, and that was Ralph Cullinan spinning round and has dropped all the way down into 16th, and this is how it happened. So he's trying to go around the outside of Craig Jones there, going to drop down into the off the oval, into the infield. He just loses the back end, goes flying across Craig Jones, and unfortunately for him, is out of the race this time. He's dropped all the way down into 16th place. Don't forget, we've got a top 25 reverse, so it's a full reverse grid tonight. So that's going to be playing into almost into Ralph Cullinan's hands, though, isn't it? Because he's dropped down into 16th.
Yeah, it will, but Noah will start in the pole position because Sir Alan Toon will be on pole position for race 2.
Yeah, as we know by Alan in chat, has had a brake failure, so he ain't going to be there anyway. So it will be Stephen Hansford. Stephen Hansford is into the pits. I can't see anything why. He's just jumped straight into the pit lane. So maybe Steve Hansford has had an issue. But currently, Mick Barry is trying to hold on to his teammate from Results Cloven High Racing Team in 6th place. What do we reckon? It's a tough one here, though, for these guys, because, you know, they've got Mick Barry's trying to go forward, but he's also under attack from Martin Sampson. It's not the most easiest thing to kind of defend against.
No, definitely isn't. But if we're talking about the biggest gainers and the biggest position lost, then at the moment it is Ralph Cullinan. Of course, we saw him with that spin at turn 1 entering the infield section. But the biggest gainer at the moment is Dale Bennison, up 4 positions from where he started.
Yep, Dale Bennison down in 13th place currently at the moment. He's trying to chase down Charles Kellerman and defend off Ralph Cullinan. Now, obviously, we've seen that is not something that's easy to do when Ralph is on his game. He is an absolute flyer. When he's not on his game, like unfortunately he didn't in race 1, he's dropped all the way down the field currently in 14th place. So this is going to be a move very shortly here from Ralph Cullinan. And I think he's going to be looking at trying to take a dive here, Dan, as we're dropping down through the tricky section back onto the oval again.
I don't think he's going to go for a dive here. I think he will get the exit onto the straight and try and do it that way because the slipstream is powerful here. Now we have that little bit of a longer straight. One of the only straights here at this track is going to try and go down the inside of Dale Bennison. Yes, he is the number 37. And that is Ralph Cullinan up a position.
Yeah, he's up into 13th place currently. Martin Sampson is in front of Mick Barry. Mick's got the outside line, what is at turn 4. And he goes around turn 5. That's Martin Sampson up a position as well. So Martin Sampson up 3 positions into 7th place. Up front, we've still got Pete Newman leading from Pete Van Gaal. However, for Pete Van Gaal, he's got Daniel Hunt right behind him, which, as we know from Hunt last week, Dan, he was on an absolute flyer. You know, he got podium and a victory last week. He's no slouch, is he, Daniel Hunt? And he's going to give it a good old go.
No, he definitely isn't. For Pete Van Gaal, at the moment, it looks like it's the opposite. He last week had an unfortunate evening in race 1, not really there. Race 2, I think he won by a country mile. And the races after, I just had tough luck. But Daniel Hunt was really quick there, and he's looking to be really, really quick again. Maybe bringing the fight to Pete Van Gaal.
Yeah, I think this just kind of gives us this feel of this track, because there's the oval again that we're going to run down. You know, it does lap over, and then, as we say, almost we dive off to the left-hand side here, into the in section again. We go right round 4 and 5. We're looking at taking the inside away from Van Gaal. At the moment, here we go, these two are side by side on that run down into turn 6. This is where you drop out away from the track. This is where I think this is what Steve Evans means about the car park section, Dan. Here, as we see Pete Van Gaal and Daniel Hunt running side by side. They've got a right Then they've got a left, and that is Daniel Hunt through, as we see Newman there flicking up some cars to the car, cones to the car behind.
Yeah, and in chat at the moment we have Sir Alan Toon as well. He says, good to see Steve Hansford back on track.
Yeah, I'm not sure what happened with Steve. He just jumped straight into the pits. He's done it a couple of times and is now a few laps down, so I'm not quite sure what issue Steve Hansford's got, but whatever issue it's got, it looks like it could be a terminal one. So unfortunately for Steve Hansford there, he's out on track currently for the optical green, out in 18th place. So there he is there for Steve Hansford. So he's still getting back out on track, but Daniel Hunt is still under attack from Van Gool. Van Gool's just gone up the inside of turn 3 as they're going to be running round the oval section now. Daniel Hunt's lost 2 positions. I wonder if he got a slowdown. Is he going to lose a third to Jamie Ayres, who's going to be looking at trying to push Daniel Hunt to get involved with his teammates? This is tough for Daniel Hunt because, you know, the Momo guys are so strong.
Yeah.
When they're in a team like this, a team huddle, that, you know, Daniel Hunt's got his work cut out. That's literally all I can say about this currently at the moment.
Yeah, and I've had a chat with the Momo guys before, like I said, and the only thing that they said is that they sometimes tend to hit each other off the track. So if they don't do that, they're in a really, really good position in terms of the team championship. And yeah, Daniel Hunt in a Momo team sandwich. So he's going to be looking to try and overtake Steve Hafford first, then Pete Van Gool, and then maybe try and go on to the back of Pete Newman. But he looks like he's clear of the field at the moment, 3 seconds ahead of Pete Van Gool.
Yeah, I think this is Newman's race. If Newman doesn't do anything drastic with this, I think this is done and dusted. The interesting thing is going to be these 4 here, Van Gool, Hefford, Hunt and Ayres, what they're going to do, because Hunt can't afford to drop back into the clutches of Jamie Ayres, which he has done now. Unfortunately for him, it's 0.47 of a second. Craig Crawford has had an incident. We will have a look back at that one shortly. But it's going to be tough for Daniel Hunt to try and move forward here, because these guys are no slouches. And Steve Hefford's not just going to turn around and go, see you later, you take the position.
No, definitely not. But the thing that I am noticing, James, is that a lot of drivers are on this track. You can take a lot of different lines into a lot of different corners. Like we saw by them coming up to... Or coming out of the oval section, or onto the oval section, I think, at the end of the middle sector. We saw, I think, Daniel Hunt keeping it very tight there on the exit. And I think it was Steve Hefford going really, really wide in front of him. So, yeah, a lot of different lines possible. So that will make overtaking a little bit more easier for the drivers.
Yeah, if there's such a term as easier, obviously, you know, we're not in the car, you know, at the end of the day, we're sat up here in the booth just chilling out, watching some great racing as we always do. But I think Daniel Hunt's got to try and open up that gap for Jamie Ayres at the moment. He's got 5:58 on the clock, and at the moment, you've got Van Gool, Hefford, Hunt and Ayres, and Hunt's really kind of got no place to go here. I think when you look at it, you see the tighter line that Jamie takes. He's trying to come up the inside now. They're going to be side by side. Up on that run down from 5 to 6. The 6 is the left-hander, which Daniel Hunt's going to have the inside line for. Currently at the moment, is he going to be able to make this through? He's not. Jamie Ayres cannot do anything about that. He gets a tighter run out of 5, but then he can't make the gain into 6, but then again he's quicker here. So it's a tough one for Ayres on what to do here. He really does need help from the 2 guys in front, and I'm not quite sure what kind of help they can give him to get him past Daniel Hunt.
Yeah, well, at the moment it looks like they're doing their best to maybe try and not fall into the clutches of Daniel Hunt, because it looks like when they slow down just a little bit to maybe slow him down and let Jamie Ayres past him, they're going to be overtaken, because Daniel Hunt is not taking any prisoners here. So if he sees a gap, he's going to go, well, thank you, I'm going to put my car in there, and that's going to be him position gained.
Well, then again, you know, he's got the option, he's got the rights to, hasn't he? He's in the MX5, you know, Steve Hefford's trying to get up past the Van Gool. Van Gool's trying to keep the position. So these guys are kind of fighting in their own right, which is a little bit bizarre for me. I wouldn't want to be doing this during this part of the race, because obviously Hunt seems quick around that corner and down the run down the straight. Ayres is trying to put him under pressure. Martin Sampson's been involved in an incident as well with, looks like, Darrell Wright. We'll have a quick look back at that one now. There is Martin Sampson, there is Craig Jones. Martin here coming on to the oval section. Around he goes, tags Craig Jones. They're stuck together. and that is Martin Sampson there, unfortunately going around. They're all on the edge, one error racing. Yeah, and that's the thing, Alan, I think you nailed it on the head there with these guys here, is they race so closely, and we've touched on it before, Dan, where we've said one incident between one of these, they all could be out.
Yeah, and that's also the thing with this track, is now Daan is looking up the inside of Steve Hefford into turn 1. Is he going to be able to make that one stake really, really wide? Is Steve Hefford, but it will give him the exit. But Daniel Hunt, he's passed.
Job done, and done with 3:28 on the clock. What is going to happen here? Steve's going to try and push that outside line. It's going to be a tough one, I think, here to try and do anything. Steve's got to try the cutback on that run down from 5 to 6. Here we go, Steve Hefford on your right, Daniel Hunt on your left. 07 is Daniel Hunt, 72 is Steve Hefford. Steve's going to try, oh, is he going to try the tight line? He's not going to make it round. These guys are just, well, incredible now. It's down to Steve what he's going to be able to do here, because he's got Jamie Ayres tucked up right behind him, Dan. And it doesn't look like he can go forward at any time soon.
No, not really, but Jamie Ayres now also pressurizing Steve Hefford, and it looks like before he will go one step forward, he will go 2 backwards once again. But yeah, Jamie Ayres also now looking really quick on the back of Steve Hefford.
Yeah, their gaps are closing. The Van Gaal's opened up about a 1.4 second gap. He's gone down the road a little bit. As we see, Craig Jones is gone around. And unfortunately for Craig, has dropped all the way down into 13th place. Track's the other way, mate. Craig is on the outside of the oval. They're taking a rather different line to rejoin the track, but he's managed it. So there we go. But there's an interesting battle here, starting with Carl Jacquelet. And Jacquelet's got Mick Barry, Ralph Cullen, and Roger Morton, all within about a second behind him currently as well. So this is going to be an interesting one. You know, Carl Jacquelet had somewhat a bit of an eventful race last week, Dan. You know, we touched on it, we had a chat, and it didn't quite go his way, did it, I think, last week?
No, not really. This week he's looking to do better than last week, and certainly at the moment it looks like it's going to look better for him this evening. But also last week, Jamie Ayres performed really, really consistently, and once again this evening in the top 5. So once again showing that consistency that she had last season.
One of the things we're not seeing, and I've only just realised that, is Elise Main is not on the grid.
Yeah.
So Elise Main is not made this week. So this will be Elise Main's drop week. Obviously, we do have drop weeks in the league itself. We don't have fast repairs. So they are, once they're over and done and dusted, that is it. There is no fast repairs there. Mick Barry now, as we're coming round, I'm going to keep an eye on Pete Newman, because he got round the track quite quick there. And I think he made it across the line before the white flag come out. So I'll keep an eye on Pete Newman, as he's got 40 seconds from up into turn 8 to get round 4 more corners. And I believe, if I'm not mistaken, he's going to take the white flag this time around. I don't think he got it last time, but I will keep an eye on that one for you guys as well. Mick Barry is under whole heaps of pressure here from Ralph Cullinan. They are obviously teammates. We've seen that. Yes, Mick has got to change a livery. I just want to go to Pete Newman, because I've got a funny feeling he's going to grab the white flag this time around. Yes, he did.
Yeah,
so it is the white flag lap, guys. We're on the final lap of the race. Pete Newman is currently out in front, and he's leading by an absolute country mile of about 4.753 seconds over Pete Van Gaal. And we've got another second back to Daniel Hunt, then Steve Hefford, and then Jamie Ayres has dropped right off the field. And there's a reason he's gone right off the field, and it's because he's had this little off track here, and that has dropped him back into 5th place. So Jamie Ayres, as they drop down the hill into the left-hander, all on his own. All on his own goes Jamie Ayres. So there we go. Pete Newman is coming around turn 8 currently at the moment, leading us off it, Dan. A stunning victory for him. He's looking visually quick at this circuit anyway. Drop weeks, yes mate, they do have drop weeks. He's looking visually quick at this circuit. You know, he's got a full reverse next time around. You know, he's got to come from the back of the field.
Yeah, and I think Pete Newman is going to finish in a second.
There he
Here we
comes.
go. Pete Newman across the line. He will win. He will start last on the grid next race, which is quite weird to think. Pete Van Gool will come through in second ahead of Daniel Hunt. He closed up quite a lot from that 1.4 second gap.
Yeah, absolutely. Jamie is here all on his own, just in a little bit no man's land in 5th place. I'm keeping an eye on this run here from Ralph Cullinan and Mick Barry, because they are just about to run onto the straight. They're going to be looking at coming down the line. Oh, it's Mick Barry got it from Ralph Cullinan. Mick Barry got it. Right. Swift, what is a drop week? Well, a drop week basically allows the drivers to drop their lowest score. So, like Elise Main is obviously not turned up for tonight, her lowest score would be 0 because not earn any points. So she could drop off the lowest score of the season. So everything after that obviously needs to account for it, but this one she can drop, and it basically will not be taken into consideration. Obviously, if you had a 20 point, 15 point, 14 point, 13 point, 12 point, your 12 point would be the one that you're going to drop. Okay.
Can't they choose that themselves? I think they can.
But I think Elise Main is going to take
a
drop week this week. You know what I mean? Dan, there's the results from race 1. Over to you.
This time I don't have to speed read them. Pete Newman is our victor of this evening's first heat race. Dan Pete Van Gool in second, but Pete Newman well clear of the field. Pete Newman 5.2 seconds behind him. Danny Hunt closed up quite a lot at the end of the race. Gap in the end, 6:10. Steve Hefford in fourth out of Jamie Ayres. Carl Jacklin behind that. Mick Barry winning in the AM class. Ralph Cullinan in P8. P9 for Roger Morton. 10th is Charles Kellyman. Andy Maxwell in P11, P12. Darrell Wright, and that is P3 in the AM Championship. Roger Morton, P2 in the AM Championship. And Greg Jones in P13. Dale Bennison, 14th. Andy Littler, 15th. 16th, Martin Sampson. 17th, Craig Crawford. And 18th, Steve Hansford.
Well, there we go. Steve Hansford obviously did not get onto the grid. He had that problems where he was on and off and on and off and on and off. Swift, thank you. No worries. Right, Mr. Allen too. Mick and Ralph are good friends, and Mick is closing the time gap between them recently. Well, Mick actually, as we've seen, out-qualified Ralph. So did Craig Jones. Obviously, Craig jumped into chat and made a point of saying, I'd like to take into consideration that the results team was 2 AMs and 1 pro, and the 2 AMs out-qualified the pro. Which is fair enough. You know, they're all improving. And I think, Dan, that's one of the things that this championship brings, that, you know, the drivers have said, and everybody has said, that the more they drive in the series, the more improvements they make. But I suppose that comes from driving with quicker drivers every single week, doesn't it?
Yeah, it does. But James, I have a question to you, because Sir Alan Toon is still in the session, so he will be registered to start from the pole position spot.
Yep.
Steve Hansford will start technically in the second place grid slot.
Yep.
But because Sir Alan Toon will not be here, so he will not join the grid.
Nope.
Does that mean that technically Steve Hansford is going to start from pole position, but in the second place slot?
Yes. As long as he doesn't have his obviously continued, but he's obviously having problems tonight for the fact he's been in and out, on and off, in and out, on and off the track. So as long as Steve Hansford, whatever issues he's having, gets resolved, technically Steve Hansford will be in pole position. Now, obviously, if Steve Hansford doesn't make it, it will go down to Craig Crawford, who will lead us away. But that's how it works. Now, we have got a 7-minute warm-up there, guys, as well. So if you are in chat and you want something to do, you can hit the like button, you can subscribe, and you can turn on the bells for notifications. Just letting you know, just in case you've forgotten. So I'll tell you now, you can like, subscribe, and turn on the bells. So there we go. Mr. Alan Toon, Swift, and everybody else. Pete Van Gool there as well. We've got Steve Hefford in the interview waiting room. Let's bring in Steve into the booth for this first chat of the evening. He does love popping in and giving me a good old chin wag. Steve, how are you, sir?
I'm not bad. Bit warm after that.
Mate, that looked a bit of a meaty race, didn't it?
Yeah, it did. It's properly slippy. very technical. Yeah, it's just it's difficult when you're trying to race in a park. Pete got it wrong a couple of times, and after I got past Dan, got a slide on in front of me, so I managed to get past. But then Pete had a couple of bad laps after that, and we ended up going too wide, which you can do around there. So at least, you know, it's, of all the places to go too wide, that's probably the best. But then I was having to back off a little bit, you know, and Dan was catching up again. So yeah, but all in all, really good fun race.
Yeah, you finished in fourth. Dan Hunt did get you. We did say that, you know, we've seen the Momo guys, you know, your guys' tactics and teamwork work before, and where obviously, you know, you've managed to pull people forward. We did think at one point you were all going to kind of work together and get Jamie Ayres past Daniel Hunt, but it seems like Daniel Hunt kind of did the opposite and moved up past you guys.
Yeah, I mean, Dan was just battling, to be fair. He was muted, so we couldn't chat, but it was good to have a race, and we had a gap behind us, so we could, you know. But then Peter checked out at the front, so it was just down to to me, Jamie, Pete, and Dan, really.
Yeah,
but, yeah, good race, good race.
Jamie had a spin at the end as well, and unfortunately dropped right the way back from you guys as well. But once Pete Van Gaal kind of cleared you, he kind of opened up a really quick 1.5 second gap. You know, reasoning, do you reckon, because you're fighting, or just because?
Yeah, see, he made a couple of mistakes, did Pete, and it ended up bringing Dan back in. I had a second gap to Dan, which Dan would have closed eventually anyway, but it's proper difficult to get, you know, to overtake on this track. But then we brought Dan in, and he ended up getting an overlap coming into the bit going on off the oval, onto the oval off the main track, and then me and Dan were battling for 2 or 3 corners, and I lifted. I didn't want to go too wide down through the downhill wiggly bit. I was just asking for trouble, so I backed out of that. So yeah, all in all, Peter had ended up with a decent gap then. But yeah,
really quick. Now Martin Sampson's jumped in YouTube chat, and he's turned around and it's just literally gone in no more than 5 words. I hate this track. LOL. What do you think of it, Steve?
I love it. It's one of my favourite tracks. It's just so technical, you know. It's hard, really difficult track to get it perfect. But yeah, it's one of my favourites, to be fair, for an oval anyway.
Yeah, so now we had debate. I know this has probably got nothing to do with the race. We were talking while you were qualifying. We had a debate. Do we call it a roval?
Yeah, roval. Yeah.
It's got to be a roval, isn't it? Because it doesn't actually list when you search the New Hampshire Motor Speedway roval. Dan was telling us that he searched it, and it doesn't actually come up as a roval circuit.
Are they listed as rovals?
Well, I would have thought it should be, wouldn't it? It's an oval roval, so, you know.
Well, knowing America, James, they're really weird there. Also with the corner names, when I searched it's 11 and 11A and 1 and 1A, but iRacing says it's 1, 2, and 3. So they do things a little bit differently in America, don't they?
Absolutely, absolutely. Well, Steve, we've got about 2.5 minutes left of practice there, buddy. We'll let you get back in to your chat room. Are you just going to sit back and chill now, mate? Or are you going to jump out onto the track?
Yeah, I'm just going to chill, I think. I've had enough practice.
Yeah. But well done, Steve, on your 4th place there, buddy, and we'll look forward to seeing you in the next one.
Yeah, catch you later.
There you go. That is our resident interviewee, Steve Hefford, who jumps into the booth. Alan, the guys started coaching me to help, and it became a regular feature of our league. Oh, very nice, Alan. How did you get on? Did the coaching go well? Obviously, the equipment, not so much because your brake pedal failure, but did the coaching itself go well? There you go. And obviously, Alan again, Pete Newman, PVG, and Steve Hefford are generous with their time coaching us at my Friday Frolics. So if you do want to get involved, guys, as well, you can head over to the UkSimracers.co.uk, jump on the league, see about joining the Discord. And unfortunately, spaces are gone for this season, but you can look at coming back in for the winter season towards the end of the year. So come and get involved with that one. You're not going to be well involved. You're not going to want to miss out. And as we say, we've got Mr. Sir Alan Too's Friday Frolic, so you can get involved with it as well. And you can come and join right in and be involved with it. Now, over to the main thing this evening. Pete Newman back at the grid, Dan. What do we reckon? Is he going to make it through to first place?
James, that's a really interesting question. But after
I will say now, Dan, be careful though, because you did drop yourself in it when you said something last time. So go on, carry on.
The last time I did that on the UK SimRacers MX5 Championship, it went terribly, terribly wrong.
Yes, it did.
The last time I did that somewhere else, it went terribly wrong. So, James, I don't do this often, and you know that of me, but I am going to sit on the fence this time.
Rude. Rude. There you go. Our very own Dan Pepels sitting on the fence there on whether or not Pete Newman's going to make it through to first place. Partly because he's had 2 incidents where he said yes and no, and I don't know if he's capable at one point. Literally, it didn't go down well. So there we go. So now he's going to sit on his fence and get splinters in his bum. Bless him, there from down in the booth.
Well, if you guys want to have a fun evening, go back and watch last week's race where I said, and I'm not gonna say who, but I said that the driver was really quick and looked good for a good result, and nothing was gonna change that. Little did I know that a corner later he would absolutely drive into a fence and wreck his car, and his race was over. So yeah, gonna have a look at that.
Yeah, well, don't forget all the videos are on the JPB YouTube channel, guys, as well. We are bringing you an GT Freeze on Wednesday. So tomorrow we've got GT Freeze. Thursday we got Radicals. Friday we've got a double dose of Radicals as well. And then obviously Sunday we finish off with a Radical Endurance. No, it's not this Sunday, is it, Dan? I'm a bit ahead of myself. No, there's nothing on Sunday. So here is the current grid positions. Roger Morton is on pole, Ralph Cullen in second, Mick Barry third, Carl Jacklett fourth, Jamie Ayres fifth, Steve Evans sixth, Daniel Hunt seventh, Pete Van Gaal eighth, Pete Newman ninth, Charles Kellerman 10th, Andy Maxwell 11th, and Darrell Wright is in 12th place. Below that we've got Craig Jones 13th, Dale Bennison 14th, Andy Littler 15th, Martin Sampson 16th, Craig Crawford, Hansford and Toon. End of. Let's go. The lights are on. The race is going to begin. And we are here, and it's away, away, away for race 2 with Ralph Cullinan in second place. Roger Morton leads us away without any issues currently. They're 3 wide further back. There we go, in the picture with Dale Bennison there in the middle, car number 37. Chasing down Martin Sampson. Craig Jones has dropped down the order as well. And that on the right-hand side is our very own Darrell Wright. So after what thought was a great start from Darrell Wright, he's dropped all the way down the order, and Roger Morton is under pressure, Dan, and he's under pressure from Ralph Cullinan.
Yeah, and Roger Morton and Ralph Cullinan with a really good start, but dropping down after the start is Mick Barry. He's now down in 6th, losing 3 positions from where he started, and Roger Morton now also down a position. Ralph Cullinan up is inside, and now he's under attack from Jamie Ayres as well, who's about to take that position. Oh, who's around there? That is Mick Barry, and he loses a lot more positions than only 3 from his starting position. Not the start that Mick Barry was hoping from P3 on the grid.
Yeah, no, definitely not. You can see the gainers and losers, and currently that is Mick Barry down 14 positions. Steve Hansford had an incident, and this is how it all started off. Steve Hansford there as well, goes around car number 57.
Goes around.
Yeah, he was coming in hot, wasn't he? I think at this point Mick Barry had already gone round. Mick had already gone round, so there was no tripping over each other. Currently though, Jamie Ayres is out in front and has cleared Ralph Cullinan. So now Jamie Ayres leads us away with the ever-chasing Daniel Hunt. And then behind that, Pete Newman is up 4 into 5th place down.
Yeah. While we were looking at that replay though, James, Charles Kellerman into the pit lane. Don't know what happened to him, but yeah, that's not where you want to be in a race that is only 15 minutes long. So yeah, I think out of the picture for a good result there, Charles Kellerman. But at the front of the field, it looks like Jamie Ayres is now leading and almost pulling the gap on Ralph Cullinan, but this is the moment for Ralph Cullinan, I think, to let everyone see that he really is quick.
Yeah, this is Ralph there. He's currently in 2nd place. Currently trying to do the business here with these guys He's got to really get in the mix here, and I think that's the thing. There are the set times over Jamie Ayres. You can see he seems a lot quicker, but don't forget we've got the toe involved with a lot of this, Dan, as well, as they drop off to the oval section and into the infield. So the toe is playing a big part tonight, and you know, Ralph's just got to kind of stay with Jamie Ayres, and unfortunately for him, he's got the ever-looming Daniel Hunt.
Yeah, and we saw that Daniel Hunt was quick in race 1 as well, so I think at the moment, Ralph Cullinan is going to be looking in his mirrors more than he's looking at Jamie Ayres ahead of him.
The thing is, though, with that, though, you start mirror driving, Dan, and you're never going to start moving forward.
True, but if you see Daniel Hunt behind you on your relative, don't you automatically get scared because he was really quick in race 1?
You can't. I don't think you could afford to get scared. Unfortunately for Ralph Cullinan, he's just run wide. He's just lost the position to Daniel Hunt. So maybe Hunt did scare him into making that forced error, but at the same time, he's obviously, you know, not done himself any favours there because he went in a little bit too hot and dropped himself down the order. Steve Hefford is chasing down on Pete Newman. There is the battle on your screen currently for 5th place. Steve Hefford trying to get past Pete Newman. Pete Van Gool does the fastest lap time of the race on a 1:13.35 currently. Craig Jones is the leader of the AMs. Jamie Ayres is the leader of the pros. And Craig Jones seems to be back into the position that he's so favoured for.
Yeah. Jamie Ayres though out at the front of the field now with a little bit of a gap. And Daniel Hunt not really closing up at the moment. That gap seems to be increasing just a little bit every lap. And yeah, that's surprising me, to be honest.
Yeah, as we drop down the field now, we can see here Roger Morton, car number 92, is chasing down Craig Crawford in front, who's chasing down Carl Jacklett, who's chasing down Andy Littler. So there's a nice little pocket of 5-way going on here as we've got Pete Van Gool has gone under the 3:10 mark into Ralph Cullinan there in front, and obviously being under pressure from Pete Newman. But Carl Jacklett looks like he's got his work cut out here, because he's got to, not only is he trying to go forward, but he's got Craig Crawford behind him, hoping that his teammate would be able to do a job for him.
Yeah, and Carl Jacklett now defending from Greg Crawford. But yeah, really struggling at the moment, like you said, James.
Yeah, Carl Jacklett, car number 42, has got Andy Littler in front of him, and Craig Crawford behind his optical red teammate, who has got car number 92 behind that, which is Roger Morton. As we can see there, Carl Jacklett's looking at taking up the inside line into turn 1. It's going to be Carl. No. Oh. Never. Oh, I don't know, Dan.
The car is so on edge in turn 1 that every touch you have there, it just results in a spin. Which, yeah, it makes racing really closely with these Mazdas difficult, because normally these cars can take a hit, but with how on edge and how, yeah, just on the line the car is there, it's really difficult to go side by side to there, because if you touch, like I said, it's almost game over.
There is one of the optical green cars in front there. I'm wondering if that is Steve Hansford in front of us currently, but there is Carl Jacklett's trying to, no, it's not Steve Hansford, but there is an optical green car there gone off the track, and I think it's Charles Kellerman who has gone off. So Charles Kellerman has gone off track, and he's now got clutched into this kind of battle here almost. He's a lap down actually, so he's not involved with this battle, but he was there off track. So Charles Kellerman there is, you know, in a, well, he's behind these guys there, so it's fine. So Charles Kellerman there is out of the way, but Roger Morton is not so out of the way, and neither is this man, Jamie Ayres up front, who's got Daniel Hunt less than 2 tenths behind him, Dan.
Yeah, once again, really close between those two. Jamie Ayres last race behind Daniel Hunt and not really able to overtake, although the Momo guys seem to work together to try and get Jamie Ayres past Daniel Hunt. But at the moment, roles reversed, and now Daniel Hunt has to get past Jamie Ayres, and at the moment has half the race left to do so.
Yeah, 7 minutes on the clock. You see an interesting battle behind as well. with Ralph Cullinan and Pete Van Gool. Here goes Daniel Hunt up the inside of Jamie Ayres. Can he make the move? He's on the right-hand side. Jamie Ayres is looking for that cutback. Oh, is he going to make it as well? Jamie Ayres got the inside. And then Daniel Hunt is through and done and dusted. Ralph Cullinan, however, hung on to the position from this man, Pete Van Gool. So Ralph manages to hold on to the position this time around, but Pete Van Gool's tightened up. Turn 4, there was contact there as well. Lucky enough for Van Gool, he managed to hold it, and it still managed to go in a forward direction. But these 6 cars here, I think the interesting thing, Dan, is they're going to be coming together very, very shortly, and we've got 6:40 on the clock.
Yeah, this is amazing. A trade of 6 here. Daniel Hunt, Jamie Ayres, Ralph Cullinan, Pete Van Gool, Pete Newman, and even Steve Hefford involved in this. Oh, that is Pete Newman with a big snap, and that allows everyone past. And now the train down to 5 cars. Pete Van Gool just able to hang on to the back of that train, but now has to catch back up to all of them. And Jamie Ayres now once again close to Daniel Hunt, but yeah, I think now Daniel Hunt is past, he won't look back.
No, the problem is obviously the draft down the straight is quite strong. You know, 5.5 minutes left. It is very strong for these guys to really kind of close that gap up, and I think Jamie Ayres maybe. Whoa, that's clearly not an off track from Jamie Ayres there, or a slowdown. Testing the track limits within iRacing there, Dan. He's got a big lump at the inside, reminds me of Sebring all over again.
Yeah, Sebring is a track where you can get a lot of bumps, of course, but yeah. This track, of course, also an American track, so maybe it's just some thing that all American tracks have, that it's just very undulated everywhere.
Yeah, we're up and down and round and left and right on a roval, on a road. Is unbelievable here tonight. What sort of circuit we have got at the New Hampshire Motor Speedway here in the good old US of A. And this is Ralph Cullinan being chased down by Pete Newman. Ralph with his hands full, says Alan Toon. Absolutely, and Newman on a 1:12.975 last time out, compares to Cullinan's 1:13.4. So, yeah, poor Ralph has got a lot of work to do here, and I think it's going to be quite a difficult few minutes for Ralph Cullinan with the ever-fast Pete Newman behind him.
Yeah, it's definitely not going to be easy. That's a given for him. So, but the least he can do is try. But Pete Newman, he's going to try it around the outside. He's going to be able to make that one stick. I don't think he is, because this corner really favors the inside. And there we go. There's camera on the inside, which doesn't, or makes it really tricky to pass around the outside. And that, in the end, was, I think, the thing that Ralph Cullinan needed to keep out of Pete Newman.
Yeah, absolutely. You see the lap times there on the bottom screen. Cullinan was only quicker on lap 7. Every time after that, he's got Newman is quicker, Newman is quicker, Newman is quicker, Newman is quicker. And Ralph is onto the grass. Ralph's onto the grass. Newman's going to be through. And that is it for Pete Newman. Is Steve Hefford going to make it through this time around as well, as these guys are coming into turn 1? And I think that's going to be Newman, Hefford up as well. And that releases Hefford and Newman now from poor old Ralph Cullinan.
Yeah, but the thing that amazes me the most at the moment, Pete Van Gool, not really before this able to catch up. It looked like the group had better pace than Pete Van Gool. But now Pete Van Gool really has caught up once again back into the slipstream. And that is helping him gain those valuable tenths of a second to catch up to the group in front of him and try and once again overtake them. But Daniel Hunt, because of all of this, more than a second clear, so the slipstream won't be working as well for Jamie Ayres now.
Yeah, it still picks it up, doesn't it, as we've specified before. You know, he's back down below a second again now. He's hovering around that gap. I think if he gets it out to about 1.2, 1.3, I think the draft itself is going to be almost non-existent.
Minimal.
Yeah, but at the moment, he's got to try and defend from Pure Sims Esports, Jamie Ayres, and, well, that's never easy in its own right, as we can see Newman here going to be looking at making that move down the inside, I think, of Jamie Ayres. into turn 1. Here comes Newman now. There comes Ayres. Ayres gives him room. He's got to look to try and cut him back. Ayres is running up the inside. There was no space there, no love lost from Pete Newman. Didn't kind of return the favour on the space of Jamie Ayres there, Dan, and kind of, well, left it not a lot of room.
No, it didn't at all, but you said 1.3 seconds was the cutoff for that slipstream. Look at the gap now, 1.4 from Daniel Hunt to Pete Newman. But Pete Newman, we saw he was really quick in race 1 really in the league of his own. A little bit further back, we're side by side, Ralph Cullinan and Pete Van Gool. Pete Van Gool trying to hang it around the outside. Ralph Cullinan able to keep that position and keep ahead of him. But Pete Newman really quick in race 1, and yeah, maybe, just maybe, can catch up in the 2 laps we have left.
Well, that's going to be an ask on its own, right? As we see, Daniel Hunt is coming down towards the line. He's got to get across the line before a 1:12. If he manages to do that, they're going to have at least 2 more laps, which he does. So it's not the white flag this time around. There's going to be this one and 1 more. Pete Newman's got Jamie Ayres. Ralph Cullinan, unfortunately, has got that back. Roger Morton now has got Martin Sampson right behind him with Dale Bennison in front. So poor old Roger Morton now. Martin Sampson has just gone through. So that is Martin Sampson up into 11th place. I don't think he's going to be able to catch Dale Bennison currently, but we will see how this one materializes, and keep my eye on the battle up the front here with these 4 gentlemen in these cars. And we've got 2 battles now, Dan. We've got a battle for 2nd, 3rd and 4th, and then Ralph Cullinan and Pete Van Gool battling for 5th and 6th, so could go either way.
Yeah, Pete Newman really having to look at his mirrors. Jamie Ayres not letting this one go without a fight. And we've seen it that Jamie Ayres was really quick in the last race. And Pete Newman is feeling the pressure from Jamie Ayres. Jamie Ayres has to watch out that he doesn't make a mistake trying to attack Pete Newman and lose that position instead to his teammate Steve Hefford.
And what's worse is they got 1 more lap as well before they go onto the white flag, because they made it across the line with about 2 seconds to spare. So I've kept an eye on the time, and they made it across the line with about 2 seconds to spare. So not only are we going to have this one and 1 more for tonight's race, so that's going to be a hard one to judge when we go over to a lapped session and what laps they're going to put in, because currently they've done 12, and it looks like we're going to have about 14 here. But Ralph Cullinan has got his hands full. Dale Bennison has got his hands full of Roger Morton, and there goes Morton up the inside, and Morton takes P11 with Dale Bennison still in 12th place. There is drivers in the middle of these. We've got Martin Sampson, Darrell Wright, Andy Maxwell, Craig Jones, and up to Pete Van Gool. But unfortunately, they're kind of in their own little no man's land, driving around quite happily with 4 seconds one way and 7 seconds the other. So, you know, Steve Hefford got a big old slide on now. As they're coming into the checkered flag, they must have not made it. I thought they actually made that, Dan. They look like they crossed the line with about 3 seconds to go. And Daniel Hunt is coming through now. He takes the victory from Pete Newman, Jamie Ayres 2nd, Steve Hefford 3rd, Steve Hefford 4th, Ralph Cullinan 5th, Pete Van Gool in 6th place. Do you know the weirdest thing though, Dan, is they crossed the line with 3 seconds on the timer.
Yeah, but I think as long as you cross the line after 1 minute 10, you basically have a gap of 2 seconds. No one is going to go really quicker than a 1 minute 10 in the end. Then you will get a white flag in this system. If it is this amount of minutes plus 1 lap, if you then go over the start-finish line with 2 seconds left, then you will need to complete that lap plus another lap, because then you've completed that amount of time plus 1 lap. But I think it is just when the clock hits 0, that lap, it's white flag lap.
Yeah, so it's Steve Hansford and Charles Kellerman. And here are the results from the 2nd race this evening. Dan, over to you.
Daniel Hunt this time wins in race 2. Pete Newman just behind that, couldn't make it a double in this first server. Jamie Ayres in 3rd, Steve Hefford in 4th, Ralph Cullinan in 5th, Pete Van Gool in 6th. really didn't show the pace he had in race 1.
No.
Able to catch up on the guys ahead of him. Craig Jones wins in the AM class ahead of Andy Maxwell. Dallor Wright in P9 and P2 in the AM class. Martin Sampson in P10 and P3 in the AM class. And 11th overall is Roger Morton. Dale Bennison in 12th. 13, Craig Crawford. Carl Jacqueline in P14. P15, Andy Littler. 16th is Steve Hansford. 17, Mick Barry. And 18, Charles Kellyman.
Well, there you go, guys. Right, we're going to be taking a short break, and we'll be back bringing you race 3 very, very shortly. There we go. I hope that helps. Sorry, Puck. Is there audio? Yes, Swift, there is. I do deeply apologise. James forgot to press the unmute button. But there you go. That was all me. So I do deeply sorry about that one, guys. But we are back and now. I hope you can hear us loud and clear. We've got Mine Samson going across the line on a 1:21.726. The first man taking the lead currently here on lap 2. We have audio. Yes, Swift, you do. My apologies for that one. Elgato Stream Deck. Oh, Mick Barry's gone round.
Oh.
No, Mick Barry has gone round. Pete Newman's involved as well. Mick there has gone round, and that is unfortunate for poor Mick Barry. He's jumped all the way down to the back of the field. Steve Hansford trying to make a move over Andy Littler in front of him, and Craig Crawford in front of that one as well. But that was a big, big moment for Mick Barry. Ralph Cullinan was involved with that. Pete Newman's been involved as well. Again, in another incident, has jumped into the pits. It's not going to do his race free any good, Dan.
No, Mick Barry looked really, really quick at the beginning of this evening, but just some tough luck for him in race 2 and race 3, really. So, yeah, it was looking really quick, like I said, but some tough luck brought him down the order in race 2 and race 3 like he is now. And for Craig Crawford as well, Andy Littler, Steve Hansford though, he has been struggling this evening, hasn't he?
Yeah, currently down in 16th place is Steve. Pete Van Gogh's having a battle with the other Steve Hefford, here tonight from the Momo boys here. Van Gogh doing the fastest lap of the race on a 1:14. Big puff of smoke from the guys in front. That was Roger Morton, Carl Jacklett and Jamie Ayres there. I'm guessing that Jamie is probably the culprit of the smoke, being that he does love to slide the MX5 around the corners. If you haven't ever watched Jamie Ayres, he does pull some Tokyo Drift moves out. And but at the moment, Roger Morton is under attack from Carl Jacklett there. Carl Jacklett has not had a good 2 races, Dan, and he's going to be wanting to make that move fairly quickly, I would have thought.
No, not at all. And Carl Jacklett at the moment right up the chaff of Roger Morton. And well, the thing is, would you, if you had an evening like him, would you take it easy now to just at least consolidate P6 and maybe even better, or would you just straight out still go for it?
I would still go for it this early on. I've got to be honest. I don't think that it would be a major thing there as Jamie Ayres takes the inside line over Darrell Wright, and that's Jamie Ayres up into 3rd place. We know Martin Sampson does not like this track a lot, so he's going to be out in front here, probably treading this, as Carl Jacklett has got Steve Hefford making moves on the inside of the turn 4. That is a job done for Steve Hefford. He's now up into 6th place as well. So he's flying along quite nicely. So let's have a look at the gainers currently on your screen, Dan. Jamie Ayres up 7, Hefford up 3, Van Gogh up 3, Hunt and Kellerman are 2 and 3 respectively, and Mick Barry all the way down 12 places. Not good for them, and Jamie Ayres has just made the move over Andy Maxwell and goes up 8 places.
Yeah, not good at all for Mick Barry, but yeah. An evening at the moment for him in race 2 and 3, really to forget, James.
No, Steve Hefford has just made the move past Roger Morton, so that's Steve up into 5th. I think, unfortunately, Darrell Wright is currently leading the AMS overall with Roger Morton behind him, then Jones down in 9th. But it's going to be tough for these 2 AMS there because they've got some very quick drivers behind them. And it's no disrespect to them, but look at Steve Hefford just weaving his way through past Darrell Wright. And Pete Van Gogh is going to be wanting to follow it through not long after this, I would have thought, with Carl Jacklett as well, and also our very own Craig Jones. Side-by-side action up the hill now. Here we go. The 2 safeguard by results guys, Roger Morton and Darrell Wright. Roger Morton's just got the inside of Darrell Wright. There goes Pete Van Gogh as well. Took the opportunity, the gap was there, the door was left open, and unfortunately for Darrell Wright, he's just got burgled by Pete Van Gogh out of that place, and Pete Van Gogh is up into 6th down.
Up at the 6th, and now Roger Morton is next target to try and get past. Beautiful move there, I have to say, from Pete Van Gool. Really chucked it up the inside and make that move stick. So, yeah, really decisive in his moves, and yeah, it's paying off for him.
Yeah, absolutely. There's your fastest lap times on the board. Currently, Daniel Hunt is leading away with a 1:13.155. He's currently sitting down in 9th place, 6th in class currently overall. And Steve Hefford is now trying to get a hold of Andy Maxwell. And I think poor old Maxwell could be under the cosh at the moment with these guys coming up behind him at the rate of knots that they are. Jamie Ayres is in 2nd place. He's trying to change down Martin Sampson, who's got a 3.3 second lead as these guys have got 7 laps remaining. And there goes Steve Hefford up into 3rd place. There wasn't a lot Andy Maxwell could do about that. You kind of move over and just let him through, really, didn't he?
Yeah, well, I think it's a sensible decision to make. Not really able to keep up with that pace of Steve Hefford, so I think the best choice to do so, I think.
Yeah, absolutely. Martin Sampson's just got to keep this on track, and there's no reason he shouldn't be able to take this victory. Martin Sampson on a 1:13.77 last time out. Jamie Ayres, however, on a 1:13.288. So he's obviously showing that Jamie Ayres has got pace and is doing times quicker than Martin Sampson. So it's going to be a tough one for Ayres, but I think if he can keep in this half a second window that he pulled out in lap 5, there's no reason why he can't pull this gap back.
Yeah, exactly, but Jamie Ayres has been just in general really quick once again this evening, really consistent, up there in the top 5 once again. And what do you think? It's once again a consistent performance. We saw that last season as well, and do you think it's going to pay off at the end of
I think, to be honest with you, mate, there's no reason why Jamie Ayres can't get a victory here tonight. He's looked quick all the way through, as Daniel Hunt, who's got Craig Jones behind him. So there's no reason why he can't get the victory. But unfortunately for Jamie Ayres, having the fight in that battle has put him 3.4 seconds back. So we're asking a lot of Jamie Ayres, I think, to be able to get the victory away. He's pulled out nearly, well, he's gone back out to 3.5 at the moment. So, you know, Martin's been in chat saying he doesn't like the track. So, you know, it's a tough one here because Ralph Cullinan and Jack Litt are having this battle down into turn 1. Jack Litt, car number 42 on the inside there with the yellow tyres from Optical Red, is now up 10th place, but Cullinan is trying to come back around the oval where they've just rejoined. Perhaps Martin will become a New Hampshire lover if he hangs on. Well, that's possible, Mr. Toon. We'll have to see how that one pans out. It's an interesting battle between Andy Littler and Mick Barry down here. Andy there with Mick right up behind him, all in the customary Queen livery that they've got on the car. Mick Barry obviously was involved in that incident with Ralph Cullinan back at the beginning and has got a nasty dent in the side of that MX5 and a big dose of Ralph Cullinan's paint probably still stuck on the car. So Mick there trying to close up on him currently down in last in 14th and 15th.
Yeah, I'm already past halfway this race. It's going really, really quickly, but we were looking at that, and Pete Van Gool had a little bit of a moment, but he's once again caught up to the back of Roger Morton. Now going to try and make that move into turn 1. What is he going to do? Outside or inside? It's going to be outside for Pete Van Gool. Is he going to be able to get it around the outside? Yes, he is. That will give him the inside for the right-hander. Not a lot of moves we've seen done here, and then now this will give him the outside for the part onto the banking. That's really tricky to stick it around the outside there, James.
Yeah, he's still trying to come around the outside of turn 4. Pete Van Gool is running a line and he's trying to hang on. He's kind of trying to follow Roger Morton. Roger Morton. And it looks like after all that battling, he's kind of made it through, and he has done. So that is PVG up into 5th place currently here tonight. So Darrell Wright has got Daniel Hunt tucked up behind him, and that's kind of one person you don't want that.
No, really quick, and this is not for position in a class, but yeah, this man Daniel Hunt has been quick all evening long, and once again trying to get past an AM car that in the form of Darrell Wright, and yeah, just looking to gain some overall positions to try and maybe get up to the top 5 of this race.
Yeah, he needs to really to do maximise his championship points. I think for Daniel Hunt, he's going to send it up the inside into turn 1 now. Daniel Hunt now gets the inside. Oh, he does not. I'll tell you what, Roger Morton done a stellar job there. He gave him room and then, you know, just kind of made him realise that he's going to be there. Daniel Hunt's now looking on that run down into turn 4. Hunt on the left, Morton on the right. Here we go. Who's going to come out on top? Daniel Hunt's tightened up 4. Is he going to tighten up 5 as well? The gap is there to be left. And there they go. They disappear over the top of the hill. We've now got Hunt on the left, Morton on the right. Morton's holding on to the inside line, doing an absolute stellar job. That's actually Darrell Wright, sorry. Darrell Wright's doing a stellar job keeping Daniel Hunt behind him and is not letting him pass Dan. I'm not too sure if I would play this card, being that we're not fighting for the same championship, but at the same point, Darrell Wright's kind of got every right to be there.
Oh, and that's off for Darrell Wright, and that's exactly what you said. It's not a fight for position, and that is all really close when he joins back onto the track with Charles Kellyman. Had to take some avoiding action there, but yeah, that's really unfortunate for Darrell Wright, and fell into the clutches of making a mistake, and yeah, really easily done, but Danny Hunt pressurized him there, and I think the better decision there for him would have been to just let Danny Hunt pass. He's been quick all evening. He's proven that he can kind of tow him along maybe and do it that way. But yeah, really easy to make that mistake under pressure from Danny Hunt.
Yeah, and that's just such a shame, Darrell Wright. Just I was picking him up as well, so that one could be blamed on me, I'm sure. But poor old Darrell Wright there slips down the order. And that is Roger Morton going up the inside of Andy Maxwell now. Here we go, Morton and Maxwell, double M. And that is Morton through. Job done for Roger Morton. He's still got Andy Maxwell climbing over the back of him. Let's see what he can do here and whether or not he can hold on. Big puff of smoke from all 3 cars there. There must be a back. Oh, the PVG blinking. That's not going to make things easier for the guys behind him, because you never quite know where he's going to be at that specific point. But oh no, Andy Maxwell in the wall. Maxwell in the wall. Oh man, that looked completely, utterly painful for Andy Maxwell. Oh
my goodness.
Good job. This is not real life here, because look at that. Oh, and Craig Jones. Oh, Ralph Cullinan just makes it through, I think. But Craig Jones did not. Andy Maxwell goes straight into the pits. Here is our leader. We do have a leader, and it's Martin Sampson. He's kind of led from start to finish. 3.2 seconds at the moment, with Ayres and Hefford battling. Your closest battle on track at the moment is the Jamie Ayres and Steve Hefford battle. Martin Sampson's just got to keep it on track, really, Dan.
Yeah, but the thing I want to touch on is, once again, the Momo guys not really doing each other a favor here, because this fighting is allowing Martin Sampson to eke out that gap even more. So yeah, not really the best of cooperating here for the Momo team this evening, it looks like.
Yeah, but we also know there's no team orders as Steve Evans looking at diving up the inside of Jamie Ayres. Ayres looks like he's hung on to the position. Martin Sampson has taken the white flag lap. Ivan Bramer, hi, J&D, looks like a good race. It has been a stellar race. Steve Evans getting a big slide on there. His Ayres managed to make his way through into second. He's now podiumed or top 5 the last 3 races as Ayres. So Ayres is having a good evening of racing. Roger Morton, however, Morton has got Jacqueline right up behind him, and Barry and Crawford have just swapped positions as well, with Barry on the right-hand side, car 675. They're going to turn it in, Craig Crawford. Oh, Crawford managed to hold it. Ayres is now still under attack from Steve Hefford, as these guys are going to be coming down to the last straight. There is Martin Sampson in front of us. Martin Sampson is going to take the victory. Who is going to get this second place? Anyone's at this point, Dan, as Martin Sampson comes across the line, takes the victory. I think Jamie Ayres is going to hang on to second place. He is. Steve Everett in third. Van Gogh in fourth. Roger Morton, Carl Jacklett. Morton takes it from Jacklett there as well. And then we'll wait for the other cars before we'll bring you up the final standings. But that's another podium for Jamie Ayres. That is currently now 2 out of the 3 races. Jamie Ayres has been on the podium. So Jamie Ayres having a very strong night of racing. Martin Sampson's had a strong night because he's finished in first place, which he didn't always say he liked, Dan, did he? Because he turned around and said he doesn't like the track.
No. Well, for not liking the track, he really did show some pace, didn't he? And also Mick Barry had that unfortunate incident in the beginning. But let me tell you what, he did well to get back to P3 in the AM class in the end.
Yeah, Mick Barry there back up the order into 11th overall, P3 in the AM class. And here is the results, read by our very own Dan Pepels.
Do we have the results? Because I do not have any.
Yes.
Okay, then I can't see them.
Oh, okay. So we've got Martin Sampson in first place, Jamie Ayres in second, Steve Hefford in third, Pete Van Gogh in fourth, Daniel One in fifth, Roger Morton in sixth, Carl Jacklett in seventh, Ralph Cullen in eighth, Darrell Wright in ninth, Charles Kellerman in 10th, Mick Barry 11th, Craig Crawford in 12th, Andy Littler 13th, Steve Hansford 14th, Dale Bennison 15th, Craig Jones 16th, Andy Maxwell 17th, and Pete Newman all the way down in 18th place, did not finish the race. Craig Jones has been in chat saying, ouch. But that basically sums it up, doesn't it? Because it did look like a big one. So what we're going to be doing, guys, we're going to be swapping over to the last final session of the evening. We'll just wait for them to appear. See if we have anybody popping in chat. Martin Sampson has jumped in to the booth. The man that dislikes the track, the man that put in the YouTube chat that he didn't like the track, goes and not only takes the victory, but he wins by 3.2 seconds. That is Martin Sampson. Martin, welcome in.
Welcome, thank you for having me.
Always a pleasure, mate. You know that. Always a pleasure. Didn't like the track then, eh?
Not for the first 2 races, anyway.
Okay. What about the fourth one, mate? What do we reckon?
Well, I'll let you know afterwards.
All right, mate. You have to jump in. You have to jump in and let me know, Martin, and then we can have a chat about it. Because you might just jump it back in and you go, no, James, I don't like it.
No, I don't like it.
Don't like it. But, mate, that looked fairly straightforward, didn't it? Took the lead at the start and start to finish.
Yeah, I got a good gap on Andy Maxwell behind me. When Jamie got past Andy and Steve Hefford as well, kind of kept the gap as it was for the rest of the race near enough. So, yeah, cool. Quite pleased. I was being really, really cautious as well. So, yeah, no, I enjoyed that. I needed that.
Yeah, I think for your own confidence, you would have probably needed that, to be fair, as well. You know, not great first couple of races, was it?
No, it was just silly little mistakes on the first race. I was in the wrong gear going round the long left-hander, and then I was in the wrong position, and then just caught the curve and spun it. And then the second one, it was just trying to push too much on cold tires because these tires now they're horrendous. So yeah, you got to be extra cautious. So I was being extra cautious in that race, but I wasn't, not fully in the first 2.
Yeah, but at the end of the day, shining silver lining so far. I just hope you haven't peaked too early, Mr. Sampson, because we do have one race remaining. Is there a goal for race 4? Because, you know, race 1 not great, race 2 not great, race 3 was outstanding, race 4, what's on the plan?
Well, I don't think my pace is too bad around here. I mean, I would like maybe see, you know, if I can get a good clean race in that, maybe a top 5. I think I'll be happy with that. Yeah, I mean, I'll be happy with a top 10 as well, but I think I'll look for aiming for a top 5.
Wow, there you go. Hopefully, Mr. Sampson, we can see you have a top 5 in race 4, but we do always know that race 4 does go a little bit crazy.
It can do, yeah. So
It
hopefully
can.
I'll keep it out of the way, and everybody keeps out my way. I'll be happy.
I love the terminology of can do. Yeah.
It does. It does.
It does, yeah. So there you go, guys. That is your winner from race 3, Martin Sampson in the booth. Martin, thank you very much for joining us this evening, and good luck in race
Thanks.
4.
Lovely. Thank you very much. Take care.
Right. So there we go. Race 4. Now we're just going to wait for the session to appear. Dan, race 3 was good for Martin Sampson. He's aiming for a top 5 in race 4. What do you reckon? Chances?
Oh, well, difficult to say, but at the moment it looks like he had some really, really great pace. So, yeah, I would say top 5 is definitely possible.
Well, let's see what happens. Martin Sampson's best time last time out was a 1:13.36. Not been the fastest time of the evening. There has been 1:12s, but I guess that does depend on the situation on the track. But I think, you know, Jamie Az is having a stunning night and is probably due a win, I would have thought, at some point. Pete Van Gool has been up and down, second in race 1, 6th in race 2, and now he's got a 4th in race 3. He's consistently around the top 10, but that's not where we would expect PVG to be.
No, certainly not at this point, especially after winning that championship last season. I expected to come into the new season with some good pace, but race 1 he was struggling a little bit. It does seem like he has found his groove compared to round 1. Round 1 was really a bit all over the place for Pete, but now at least he has been consistently in the top consistently in the top 6, let's say.
Yeah, absolutely as well, guys. So we are just waiting for the third session to appear. We will jump on to a BRB screen while we wait for the session to come up. But in the meantime, guys, don't forget to like, subscribe, and turn on the bells for notifications for all the action coming up this week on the JPB YouTube channel. But as always, guys, we will be back very, very shortly. Okay, guys, we are back, and I've remembered to turn on the sound. Check me out. Woo! Right, so we're back here for the final race. Don't laugh, it's not funny. I did. I've hit the button. I thought I hit it last time, but clearly I completely forgot. With your,
We've all done it.
Yeah, exactly. With your comms team, myself, James Parfitt, and Daan Pepels here tonight for race 4. And if you haven't been here for race 4, do not go anywhere, because it can be spicy. Okay, do not forget, race 4 is going to be spicy, as it always is here tonight. So there we go. We are into practice currently at the moment, and we have got precisely 3 minutes 34 left of practice. A good time as ever to speak to Daan again. Mine, Samson, well, we heard it on the interview, turned around and said that he's looking for a top 5. Showing some pace, didn't quite do so well in the other races. Has he peaked too early this evening, do you think? Could he have done with like a 4th or 5th and then go for the victory in the last one?
Well, it's what you call peak. If you can run 2 races in a row, I think that's your peak. So it just depends on what you call your peak, you know? Maybe his peak is 4 races in an evening, which we haven't seen being done this whole championship in season 1, season 2, and this season. So, but I just want to quickly touch on something. We have 12 people watching, only 6 likes. So how did that happen then?
I don't know. Maybe they're all just sit back chilling out. Maybe they don't like it. Who knows? There you go, guys. Our very own Dan giving you a hint there as well. So if you are watching, please do subscribe. Don't forget to like, as well as our very own Alan Toon has recently done to the channel. Much love to you, Alan, as we enter into the last 2 minutes of practice before... Oh, there was a spinning green car there. I believe that may have been Steve Hansford, who went spinning off at one point. Oh, no. Oh, hold on. What's going on here? Andy Maxwell, and then we've got Andy Maxwell and Andy Littler, I think. Both of them sat there staring at each other on track. There is race 2's winner, Martin Sampson. He's got the ever-looming Pete Newman behind him currently, so hopefully he won't be under any sorts of pressure, because we are in practice after all, guys, so don't forget that. But let's see how this one pans out, because race 4 can be somewhat chaotic. Yeah. So, guys, what we're going to do now is bring you up the current schedule for this season. As you see here, we're at New Hampshire Motor Speedway. Next week, we go off to Laguna Seca, which is always fun with the corkscrew. Then we go into the fast flow in Phillip Island before we go to Donington GP. And then we go on to Mosport on the 18th of October, and then on the 25th of October we go to VIR, which should be an interesting racetrack, and we round out that October there as well. There is some great tracks on this season, and I think a shout must go out to Steve Hefford, who has been involved in putting these tracks together. There's some awesome tracks.
Oh yeah, and well, they're all awesome, but which track do you like the most? I'll just say mine, and this might be a little bit of a biased one, but I say Zandvoort.
Zandvoort?
Yeah.
No.
With these MX5s?
No.
That could be amazing.
No. Mosport, I think, could be an absolutely impressive race. And possibly round 12 at Knock Hill. I think they're the ones for me. Let us know in chat what you prefer off that season schedule this season, and tell us which tracks you would like most. But we are at New Hampshire in round 2. So there we go. Right, but here we go for the race. For race 4 here tonight. Yeah, well, I'm looking forward to this, but I'm also not. But we've got Craig Jones on pole, Dale Bennison in second, Steve Hansen third, Andy Littler fourth, Craig Crawford fifth, Mick Barry sixth, Charles Kellerman seventh, Darrell Wright eighth, Ralph Cullinan ninth, Carl Jacklett 10th, Roger Morton 11th, Daniel Hunt down in 12th place, Pete Van Gool 13th, Steve Evan 14th, Jamie Ayres 15th, Martin Sampson 16th, Andy Maxwell 17th, and Pete Newman 18th. That's a tall order from Martin Sampson for the top 5 from there, Dan.
Yeah, and for Pete Newman as well, and P18. But here we go.
Oh,
what a jump start from Hansford, I think.
Yeah, jump start from Hansford at the back. And unfortunately for him, that will be, he'll possibly get a stop and go for that one. But we are away from race through with Craig Jones in first place, Dale Bennison in second, Andy Littler in third, and Craig Jones leading us off. Oh, there's one of the obstacle reds gone round. Craig Crawford joined on to Steve Hansford, and that is not, oh, there's a big clash. Massive crash. Darrell Wright, Roger Morton, Pete Newman, Carl Jacklett, Pete Van Gool, and Jamie Ayres all involved in this incident. I told you, don't take your eyes off race 4, because there is Darrell Wright on the outside. He goes round first. There's Jacklett, there's Morton, there's Van Gool, there's Ayres, there's Newman, there's Sampson. Oh, the 5 cars scrap heap. Craig Crawford as well. Oh, PVG.
Oh.
What was that from PVG? Reversed straight into the pathway of Steve Hansford. And he is now down the order as well. That was huge. Roger Morton is straight into the pits. Jamie Ayres, Pete Newman, Pete Van Gool, Steve Hansford. How Newman's up again. Oh, Hansford's up again.
This is just typical race 4 at this point, isn't it?
Yeah, but all the while, Charles Kellerman has made it through up into 3rd place with Ralph Cullinan trying to come through. There we go, Ralph Cullinan does take 3rd place. That was just chaotic. Cullinan's gone round as well. Oh no, Ralph Cullinan.
Cullinan's gone round, but Martin Sampson, look at that, P4.
He's up 12 places. 12 places for Martin Sampson here in race 4. He's managed to weave his way through. Craig Crawford has just got past there as well from over Darrell Wright in 10th, Mick Barry down in 11th. Here are the gainers down on the left-hand side. Wow, just wow.
Unbelievable. Unbelievable for Martin Sampson. 12 positions gained. He must be loving this track at the moment. He said he would let us know after race 4, but I think at this point we could just fill it in.
Yeah, it's just unbelievable by Sampson currently at the moment. And he's now chasing down Charles Kellerman with Steve Pepper tucked up right behind him. So that's going to be an interesting one. But what I'd like to point out as well is look at the front 2. What class are they from, Dan?
Well, of course the AM class, but they have to keep out of the hands of both Martin Sampson and Charles Kellerman. If they can work together, maybe they'll maybe able to catch up to the back of them. But yeah, it's at the moment Craig Jones. We know he's really fast. He's not a slouch like we always say, and man, he could well take this victory with the gap he has at the moment.
Yep, Craig Jones is leading the way by 2.4 seconds. Hansford, Hefford and Sampson having an absolute stellar scrap here. With Dale, we've got Dale Bennison a further 2.5.
There was a Momo car off.
Sorry?
There was a Momo car off. I don't know who it was.
Jamie Ayres.
Yeah.
Jamie Ayres went into the pits. I don't know if his repairs have been done because that car is not looking healthy currently at the moment. But Jamie Ayres has been off track. Martin Sampson still battling with Steve Hefford here as they're dropping down into the, coming back onto the oval. We said don't go away from race 4, and this is why we say don't go away from race 4. There is, I tell you what, right? If Craig Jones and Dale Bennison can hold these 2 positions, that would be stellar. The trouble for Dale Bennison, he's got the ever-looming Charles Kellerman with Steve Evan and Martin Sampson. Daniel Hunt has just made the move past Andy Maxwell. PVG is just about to go up the inside of Craig Crawford. He's got the job done now as well. Pete Newman is trying to go up the inside of Mick Barry. has just crossed the line and done a 1:13.9, so he's currently the fastest man on track. But Kellerman is holding up Hefford long enough, I think, that might actually give Dale Benison a chance here. Benison is currently sat in second place, and he needs this fighting because otherwise he's just going to go down the order faster than me eating McDonald's, mate. I'll tell you that much, and it ain't going to be good for Dale Benison. But he's got to keep his head in the game and try and hold on to this second place. But look at the gap is closed rapidly down. They're swarming him. They're eating him alive.
Yeah. It's not good for Dale Benison. Neither is eating McDonald's for James. And
oh, it's gone round. Kellerman's round. Hefford's off. That could be the break Benison needs. That could be the break that Benison needs. He might be able to hold on to this second place because he's just had a lifeline provided to him from Steve Hefford. Hefford and Kellerman come in and Sampson was right behind him. But where's Martin Sampson? He's in third place.
Unbelievable. 8.3 seconds is the gap to Craig Jones at the front of the field. Dale Benison, though, the gap to him only 3.4 seconds, so he could catch up there. But if he could win from P16 on the grid, I would say this is really his peak then.
Yeah, but he has got the ever-looming tiger of Daniel Hunt. Martin Sampson is the gazelle, Daniel Hunt is the tiger, and the tiger is going on the hunt with Hunt here in the DOF reality car. Oh, come on, Dale Benison. Make my night of racing. Keep this second place, because that would be an absolute stunning race from Dale Benison if he can hold on. If these two can fight long enough, or even, I don't want to say come to contact to keep, you know, him behind, like get that gap, but there's Dale Benison there. Here comes Daniel Hunt with Martin Sampson. No.
They're not helping each other here, are they, James?
No, not at all.
Whoa, that's really close to the wall there from Martin Sampson. Danny Hunt might be through here on the outside. Martin Sampson is not going to give this one up without a fight. He comes back on the inside, and he's ahead when we go to the apex of turn 5. And it's just so close, James, isn't it?
Just keep battling, boys. Keep battling for the next 7 laps. I bet you Benison is in that car up that road now, just saying, end it. Checkered flag. Give me something. As Daniel Hunt flicks up the cones there as well. He's trying to run round on the inside, round 11 and 12. Coming back onto the ovals. This is an absolute stellar drive from the man in front, Craig Jones. But Dale Benison is second. There is Craig Jones. He's gonna be, I think, if I'm not mistaken here, only the second man to take an overall victory. Oh, Sampson's gone in deep. That's allowed Daniel Hunt free. No. Oh, Dale, come on, put the foot down, son. He's coming.
It just doesn't look like to me that Dale Benison has the pace, really, even though these two were fighting. They're catching up big times to the back of Dale Benison.
They're pulling out 2 seconds a lap.
Yeah, that is not good for Dale Benison, is it?
No. But we can hope. We can hope. He got a break once before, did Dale Benison, with Steve Hefford and Charles Kellerman and Martin Sampson come to contact. But here they go now. The looming tiger of Daniel Hunt up the back now, as Dan put it earlier on, up the chuff of Dale Benison. Benison's moved to the side. Defend, Dale, defend. Defend. Dale, defend. Oh, okay, don't defend. Oh.
Well, James is heartbroken, but both Daniel Hunt and Martin Sampson are through. Martin Sampson once again up into a podium spot.
Got it.
Dale Benison just left fightless. Couldn't do anything really there. Maybe let them pass, because it looked like it was way too easy for both to get past.
He let him pass. He didn't get involved with that fight.
Yeah, didn't want to get involved in any of it, but Daniel Hunt now free to chase down Craig Jones, but I think that gap, James, is just way too big at this point with the pace that Craig Jones has for those two to catch up. So if nothing strange happens to Craig Jones, there's nothing that can stop him from taking an overall victory as an AMI.
Yeah, nothing at all from Craig Jones. He's got an 8.6 second gap. Last lap time of a 1:14.08 compared to Daniel Hunt's 1:14.42. This will be the breaker because Daniel Hunt's had clean air for the whole entire lap. So if Hunt now, let's see what sort of time he puts in and what sort of time Jones puts in, because they obviously now will be able to gauge roughly where Hunt and Jones is on track at the same time. So Hunt's Jones did a 1:14.04, which was his best lap overall. Daniel Hunt 1:13.35. He's pulled out 7 tenths, but I don't think that's going to be enough.
No, it's not enough.
It's not nowhere near enough, Dan, actually, when you think about it. He's got to pull out a second and a half, at least, over the next 5 laps.
And then he has only caught up, James, and he still needs to pass, so even that isn't enough. Carl Jacklin, meanwhile, though, in P9 here, trying to overtake Dell right ahead of him. He is in P3 in the AM class, so this is looking like a real good battle.
Yeah, Jacklin here with Wright, with Cullinan behind. This is an AM and 2 pros. What can this be done now? The gap is down to 7.6 up front. We'll keep an eye on it for you. Benison has just been overtaken by Steve Hefferdale. Oh, and he's got the ever-looming PVG behind him. Gutted for Dale Benison. Put up a wall, mate. Start chucking bricks out. Give him the kitchen sink. Just do something, Dale Benison. Come on, son. Get your best ever finish of the season now. Out of the way. No, defend.
Oh, Pete is so close.
Dale. Oh, PVG's through as well on Dale Benison. Benison now down into 6th place. Absolutely gutted for him. Oh, he does a stellar job up in 2nd. I thought we were going to see it. I thought he was going to get 2nd place. And unfortunately, Dale Benison is now down into 6th. But here is the Wright Jacklin Cullinan battle. This is your battle for 9th place. It's going to be tough for Darrell Wright, but Wright has got a lot quicker and is managing to hold on so far, so good. Jacklin just went in deep there. That gives Darrell Wright a bit of a breather down that he needs, really. He kind of needs one of them breathers every lap to kind of sort of settle him down a bit. If he can get it and then he can see Jacklin going deep as they're coming around 11 and 12, I think it's going to be an interesting one for Wright to be able to sort of get the confidence that he can do this. And I think that's what he needs at this point.
Oh yeah, definitely. It's he's been really quick this whole evening, and once again he's at the head of a group and he's having to defend, but he's done it several times now, so why couldn't he do it this time? But around the outside, though, that is a beautiful move by Carl Jacklin. He just isn't able to pull it off, isn't able to stick around the outside. Now here, this is a difficult moment to stay around the outside. Not going to be able to do it. Oh, but he will have the inside for the next part. They're going to be 3 abreast into the corner.
Oh, Jacklin's in the wall.
Oh no.
Jacklin got on the grass and just torpedoed the wall. And unfortunately for Carl Jacklin, that looks like his race is done and dusted. He caught the grass in that going almost 3 wide there, Dan, and he just literally torpedoed the wall.
Yeah, well, James, let me tell you, we've been lucky in race 4 and race 3 that this isn't real life. Otherwise, we would have seen 2 very serious.
Yes. Yeah, definitely. There would have been medics and probably red flags on the track tonight.
Yeah.
Oh, gutted for Carl Jacklin there. He was flying. Can Benison now hold on from Charles Kellerman for this 6th place? Still got Craig Jones out in front, don't forget. He's coming to be on the last lap very, very shortly. And to be the only 2nd man to take an AM victory for this This boy is just absolutely incredible. He made the jump, and he's just gone from strength to strength. The gap's come down about 2.5 seconds, but it ain't going to matter over this next lap, is it? He's not going to... Surely he can't lose the 5 seconds, can he?
Well, if he doesn't do anything that is, yeah, well, just really stupid, then no, he can't. But yeah, I don't expect
Oh, look at the contact
do anything with that.
behind him. That was Ayres, Littler, Ayres, Hansford, and was it Carl? No, Jacqueline's in the pits. That was Crawford, Littler, Ayres, and Hansford, and Ayres is now out down in 15th, 1 lap down there as well. But here, final lap for Craig Jones. Come on, Craig. You've got to do it, Dad, surely. To be the second man to take an AM overall victory from Craig Jones. Be aware, we are looking at history.
Yeah, we're looking at history, and you might want to turn your volume down a little bit. The last time this happened was Mick Barry at Interlagos, and, well, if you want to have a look back at that, of course, you can do, but James there, he was screaming, and why wouldn't you? It's history being written live.
Craig Jones, now we go through 8. He's got 8, he's got 9, he's going into the base of 10, which is the right-hander at the bottom of the hill. He's got a back marker of Steve Hansford in front of him. Let him through! They're coming, let him through! Come on, Craig Jones, you've got this. He's coming around the final corner. Craig Jones is going to be the second man ever to take an AM victory overall. Go on, Craig Jones. Oh, he did it. He's got this. Well done, Craig. God, blimey, they were coming at a rate of knots. There's Daniel Hunt in the background in second place. Newman is trying to chase over down Ralph Cullinan. He did it, Dan. He got it.
Did I?
No, not you. Whoa. Well done, Craig Jones. Finished 3 seconds. He lost 2 seconds on that last lap, being behind Hansford at the bottom of the hill. But Craig Jones has done it. He's the second man in the UkSimracers last 3 seasons to take an AM victory, take a bow, son. Give me some donuts. Come on, Craig. Do give me something amazing. I'm going to wait now in anticipation. So if anybody's in the booth with Craig, get him to do some donuts. Oh, hello, Pete.
That's some interesting things happening there.
Yeah, that was Pete Newman. Oh, and Jamie Ayres. They're upside down. Not quite sure what happened there. We'll stay away from that one for a minute.
Oh, this is anticlimactic, isn't it?
No, hold on. We got... Oh, Craig. Gutted. I thought he was going to do...
That's just Craig being Craig, isn't it?
Craig, where was my donuts? Oh, not happy about that. Not happy about that. Hey, do you know what's worse as well? We've not even read the results, and he's straight in the booth. Craig Jones here is your victor. Daniel Hunt in second. Mike Sampson third. Steve Evan fourth. Pete Van Gool fifth. Ralph Cullinan sixth. Pete Newman seventh. Darryl Wright eighth. Andy Maxwell ninth. Dale Benison finishing 10th in the end. Gutted for Dale. Charles Kellerman in 11th. Mick Barry 12th. Andy Littler 13th. Jamie Ayres 14th. Steve Hansford 15th. Craig Crawford 16th. Carl Jacqueline 17th. And Roger Morton. But let's bring him in. The second man in UkSimracers' last 3 season history to win an overall as an AM. And that is the one, the only, Craig Jones. Craig, welcome in. You little superstar, you.
Get in.
I'm upset with you, Craig. I'm not happy.
What was that?
Well, I didn't see no donuts.
Oh yeah. Next time, I promise. Next
Well,
I just won the race. Like it was the last thing on my mind, to be honest with you. But yeah, obviously really happy. And hopefully you can stop going on about Mick now.
I did. I did. You got a cheer, Craig. Don't worry. I didn't, didn't disregard the fact that you won as an AM. The overall. I did big you up, and Dan did warn people to turn the TVs down. So I was excited, Dan. I was stood up in my room cheering. So don't you worry about it, mate. You got props as well. I can now stop going on about Mick Barry, but I can put you into the same sentence at least now, can't I?
Oh, I don't know if I want to be in the same sentence as Mick Barry. I don't even want to be in the same team as him.
Oh, Craig. Strong words from you.
And as for Ralph Cullinan, I think we're going to have to put an advert out. If there's any pro drivers that want to transfer, we have an opening, because he's just not right for us anymore. I'm surprised they haven't followed me into the interview rating room, to be honest, but good night's racing. This new tyre model though is just an absolute nightmare. It's like driving on ice out there. It's ridiculous.
But disregarded the fact that they have severely done something incredible to the MX5 that people are not loving at this moment in time. Overall, how would you say your evening's been?
Yeah, it's had its ups and downs. Race 3 was really disappointing to end with a meatball flag. That wasn't my fault, but that's the nature of this league. The racing's so close. When something like that does happen, which wasn't intentional, sadly, people are going to get hit and going to get taken out, and it's not always going to be their fault. So we take the rough with the smooth. There's certainly been occasions where I've gained positions from stuff like that happening to others. So take it on the chin and move on. I suppose you can't do it any better than coming first in the next race. Really happy with that.
Yeah, absolutely. There was like 2, 4, 6 cars involved in an incident at the beginning of the race as well. There's nothing to take it away from the fact that you've gone from green to checkered flag. Absolutely incredible. I did panic, and I've got to be honest, if you watch it back, there might be words of panic in my head. The fact that you come up to Steve Hansford and the other guys, you lost 2.5 seconds over that last part of the circuit with Steve in front of you. I was hoping you were going to kind of get past him.
Well, I suppose he the rules state he doesn't have to move out the way, and it was clear he wasn't going to, which is unfortunate, because when I'm ever in that situation, I always move across and just let the race be the race. But I got the result I need, so I was those last 2 laps. I told myself I was not going to look at the relative, because I'd noticed it was creeping down. I mean, Dan Hunt, it's Dan Hunt, isn't it? He's super quick. I know he's quicker than me, and I was just watching that relative slowly come down, and I said, no, last 2 laps, I'm just going to focus on my points, hit the brakes where I need to hit the brakes, and just keep it nice and clean. And luckily, it was enough to keep a gap to him.
Yeah, over the last few laps, it come down 2.5 seconds. It was he was pulling out about 7 to 8 tenths on you with 5 laps to go. He didn't have enough. He would have had to pull out. I think it was like 1.5 seconds per lap to try and catch up with you with your 8.5 second gap that you had currently you had at one point. He got it down to 3 seconds. The last lap does show it off. You did a 1:15.77. He did a 1:14.06. Best lap times, 1:13.94 for you, 1:12.96 for Dan Hunt. So, the gap was coming, but I don't think, to be fair, at one point you had Dale Bennison, Steve Efford, Charles Kellerman behind you, and Martin Sampson. They all come to contact. Dale Bennison managed to stay away. I was hoping Dale was going to get second. It didn't hang on in the end, unfortunately. But you kind of had the luck was almost on your side in race 4, Craig. The few incidents behind you gave you the gap. Further incident again allowed you to lengthen the gap. I'm ecstatic, mate, because I'm glad you didn't panic. I wasn't panicking myself towards the last bit. I was definitely hoping that you were going to get the victory. Did you ever sit back and think, oh my God, like I'm in the lead and I've only got 2 laps to go? I cannot mess this up.
I think the old me used to. So if I went back, a couple of years ago, if I was in that situation, my heart was jumping out of my chest. It was that bad. And I think over the years, I've just kind of where I've been exposed to being up the front a little bit more, and I've kind of learned to kind of the mindset of being in that position is really, really important. And like I said, it just came down to those last 2 laps. It was ignore the relative, just focus and keep doing what I'm doing. I've been doing it all race. There was no reason, if I was to lose it, it was only because of my own fault. So just had to keep it clean, keep it focused, and kind of forget that I'm in the lead, to be honest with you, and just race and wait for that checkered flag.
Yeah, absolutely. Roger Morton has put in YouTube chat. He doesn't know how to do donuts. That's why he didn't.
I've taught him how to do donuts.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, because it's very rare he's even on the podium, so he doesn't get the opportunity to do so.
Ouch. Right, there we go, guys. That is the second man ever as an AM to take an overall victory in the booth. The one, the only, Craig Jones. Well done, buddy. And we'll look forward to seeing you next week.
Thank you very much.
There you go, guys. That is Craig Jones there as well. Your victor, the second AM overall to win overall. And I don't just mean win class. I mean win the overall race. And Craig did it. McBarry's done it. Who's going to be next off the AM list, Dan? Well, hopefully we'll see it again this season. But that was absolutely stunning.
Yeah, absolutely amazing. And only the second one to do it. So, yeah, some history being written here.
Absolutely there as well. Dan, if you can give me one sentence to sum up tonight's racing, what would you say?
Last week I said amazing as always. This week it will be just one word: historic.
Historic. There you go. That absolutely sums it up for us tonight, guys. But as always, that brings us out to the end of the broadcast. And I think you can all admit what an absolutely incredible evening of racing it's been with myself and Dan Pepels. So as always, from me, from Dan, take care. Have a great week. And you never know, we might see you on the track sometime. Good night.